Alright guys, welcome back to the most underrated channel on the internet. So let's get straight into the charts. So I closed out my Ethereum trade yesterday. I had some limit orders or some sell orders. We closed 25% in profits. That was okay. Closed it live on the stream after we opened it. We got in at 11,040. Today it's at 1,400. I was expecting that, it was going extremely strong, but because I you just got to take profits, um, and I wasn't gonna put like $15 and keep the trade open, so because my limit sell or whatever, uh, triggered or whatever and sold a lot of my position, and so. But if you guys took that trade, if you guys are in your strong position and you're still in, good for you. All right, so. Um, and obviously I still hold Ethereum, and like I said, like when I told you guys to get Ethereum back when it was Bitcoin dominance looks like it's actually falling now. Before it was consolidating, and we were actually the only crypto channel on the internet, to my knowledge, and I'm very involved in the community, that was saying that it was consolidating, and now it looks like, see, like this is obviously, but now it looks like it's actually getting some momentum and moving down. I also told you guys about Polkadot, I think a night or two ago, like somebody had a question about it. I said, guys, like I like Polkadot, it's really good. Like there's not a lot of competition because like the only competition is really Cosmos, and Cosmos is not really comp, especially yeah, Polkadot's just on another level. I said Polkadot's a good crypto, but it's a little high, it's a little high right now, and it's down 2% today. So, and it was down the other day too when I was telling you guys that. So we were just killing it with the tech. I told you Ethereum last night. Last night, yeah, I told you Ethereum was like killer. Get some Ethereum. I don't tell you guys to get stuff. I'm just like, you should probably look into this. Still saying ADA is the best crypto by far. And I'm actually looking at putting some of my Ethereum holdings, now that Ethereum's finally moving again, it should move pretty quickly, especially as this um, Bitcoin dominance continues to drop. It has to cool down a little bit. I mean, people that don't understand like the intrinsic value of like Ethereum and how underrated it is right now, they're gonna take profits. That's gonna move the market down just a little bit to begin with. But once those longs take profit, once the weak hands take profit, we might see a little consolidation and then a move higher seems to be the sentiment. And I don't mean in like a Fibonacci retracement way. I mean it's possible that we just see like a little fib retracement. I'm thinking more so a day or two at least of consolidation on Ethereum. Just my thoughts. Um, But if Bitcoin dominance continues to drop, that idea could easily get negated. So we broke out of this consolidation pattern that I was talking about last night. But what I told you guys is I called everything. So let me see if I can draw it. But so we had this consolidation pattern on Bitcoin charts, and then we broke out slowly, but I said this area right here has to break for us to have like a true breakout no matter what, because these are the last resistance lines, and that's why I'm always drawing them on the charts, even though there is um, other ways you could draw this. If they don't break out of these lines, then they're not going anywhere. And I said that we need to be looking at the volume, because if the volume's not there, then see, you can do the three touch points right here. So you have one on this candle body. You can do candle bodies or candle wicks. Candle bodies tend to be more accurate. So here's one touch point. Here's 2 touch points, here's 3 touch points right there on the candlestick bodies. So that's perfect TA, technical analysis right there. 1, 2, 3, that's textbook. Okay, and you see we wicked above it right here. And I told you guys though, I didn't tell you guys, oh, we wicked above it, we're going so high, like I wasn't even really measuring the move. I was like, listen guys, we wicked above this candlestick formation, that's really important, that's really good, but we need to see more volume to confirm that breakout. We even had and I said, we need to see the 4 hour close. We need to see the hourly candlestick close. We need to see the 4 hour candlestick close, and they did. The 4 hour candlestick closed, and I said, okay, guys, that's an incredible confirmation. Like usually when you're a trader, if you get a 4 hour candlestick close on a breakout pattern, like that's good. But I said just the volume's not there, and we went and we looked at the volume, and the more and more I looked at the volume, like I went down to even the 5 minute chart. Let me get rid of this so I can draw the bottom of this consolidation pattern. But I went to the 5 minute chart and I said, listen, we're decreasing on volume. It looks like we're consolidating. And we called it. We absolutely called it. Not only did we say what was gonna happen, but I not only did I say what was gonna happen, I also showed you guys, like, we literally had the breakout for like 4 hours, and just because Bitcoin dominance is moving up so sustained. Oh, here's the Ethereum. This is what you're gonna want to look for on Ethereum. Here, let me change the camera angle real quick, and then I'll break down this Ethereum idea for you guys, because this is really important. Like, this is like, and then I'll remember this time on this video to change the camera angle back. So this is what you're looking for on Ethereum. So this is the Ethereum charts. You have the swing high, which is at 1400, and then you have the swing low, which is that giant red candlestick. And so really what we're looking for as far as longing it, you're at the mercy of Bitcoin dominance essentially. Um, yeah, that's really what it comes down to if you're gonna find a long position. But just getting a buy entry into this golden pocket. So usually, like when I'm cost base averaging into positions, uh, I will go 1 second. All right. So like right here at the top of this, This is the 786 line right here at the top. Here, let me pull out my pen. All right, so like right here at the top, this would be where you like if you were doing like maybe $100, just per se, like I have 10K in Ethereum. We all have money in Ethereum, but like just per se, if you were doing $100, maybe you do like 33 here at the top. Maybe as you get a wick, substantial wick into this, you do another 33, and then maybe you do 33 at the bottom. Now, the sentiment for this idea, this is the Ethereum chart on the daily, and we have the Fibonacci pulled up. And just because I'm sure there's a lot of FOMO and stuff, people are probably going to try and stake because of Ethereum 2.0, and a lot of the money's being locked down, and there's good fundamentals in Ethereum. I would think it would retrace the golden pocket and then move higher. So I don't think the market's as bullish. Depending on how bullish like a asset is, like if it's extremely bullish, it'll just touch the top of this golden pocket area right here, where I was touching the first point here. It'll just touch the top point right here and then wick higher and then continue. Um, I mean, Ethereum needs to cool down a little bit, even though it's undervalued and even though it's most likely going to continue to go up definitely over the next, week. Um, It needs to cool off a little bit. That was a massive move. Again, unless Bitcoin dominance drops. If Bitcoin dominance drops massively, that could that could give the incentive, the buying incentive, um, to push the price up higher. But you would have to see Bitcoin dominance drop before we even start looking at that idea. All right. So that's Ethereum. That's the idea with Ethereum. That's really what you want to be looking at right now more than anything with that massive move, with that massive wick. I mean, massive wick's good, like the consolidation pattern breakouts, like it's all good, but at the end of the day, that's your main focus if you're looking into Ethereum. And like I said, it's overextended, so well, we could look at the RSI on it. Just give me 1 second. Let me see where this breakout pattern was. RSI on the 30s undersold. RSI on the hourly is undersold. RSI on the 2 hours a little bit, it's normal, I guess you'd say. Maybe it's not maybe it's not overextended. RSI is looking very healthy on all time frames of this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we could see a move higher. We could see us, go into that golden pocket area, and then we could definitely see a move higher. Uh, yeah, just like looking at volume to figure out when that move's gonna happen. And volume should be there, unlike Bitcoin right now, which we have these consolidation ideas. And like I said, I told you guys it was gonna consolidate, and I told you guys that we broke out a little bit, and we were consolidating like right here. Like this is on the daily chart. This was like for 8 hours, and I'm sure everybody was calling breakouts and stuff like, oh, it broke out, and no, we're consolidating. Some people say volume's the most important indicator. That's, you gotta pair them up, but some people are like, you just need to look at volume. All right, where's the trying to? I have the consolidation pattern drawn on my Bybit account, so let me see. Touch point right there. Touch point right there. And that wick. Okay. I'm just gonna draw this tighter consolidation pattern real quick to give you guys an idea. Because I'm gonna be streaming all day today, so even though Bitcoin's just consolidating right now, I still want to give you guys this idea. Okay, so 1, 2, and does that just perfectly line up for 3? It's kind of a stretch, but I guess that works. You got 1, 2, and then 3. Okay. And that's nice that it intersects with this major. Oh no, it doesn't. But that's fine. It intersects with, I don't even know. That's fine though. So essentially what you're looking at right here are different trend lines. So these are different resistance levels and support levels respectively, except for these horizontal lines. These horizontal lines are necklines for different candlestick pattern formations that could possibly be breaking out. This looks like a double bottom, but you're not going to be able to see it on the daily. So we'll go to we'll go to the hourly to see what exactly we're looking at here. I can't remember what necklines they are. This looks like a double top, but it's really weird. Oh, this was the neckline right here, yeah. So, to me, more than anything, this looks like an uptrend now. Yeah, you got the low, high, higher high over here. Okay, I mean, it looks like an uptrend to me. But we were going off of previously this double top idea or a triple top idea, and then the neckline was like right here for breaking down into this triple top or possibly this double top idea. And then, yeah, this would have been the last candlestick to break if we broke this candlestick, but really the neckline would be right here, which we do also have a candlestick right here. So let me just draw those ideas for you really quick, just so if you're a little bit newer to trading, you have a good visual representation of what exactly I'm talking about. Alright. And then maybe this is a sloppy head and shoulders, but this is if that extremely sloppy. But when you really start getting into TA, technical analysis, you realize that the patterns are there for a reason. Like it shows the market sentiment. So even if a pattern isn't 100%, if you still understand the ideas of a pattern, then so that's like the it's not a textbook double or triple top. It's not textbook because you would usually come in on the bottom, and that's what I've been talking about. But this is, like was just trying to say, like, it still is the fundamentals for the principles behind a double top or a triple top, and so it still does play out, even though it's not textbook double top. Usually, if you go into a textbook on crypto or just market technical analysis in general, it's going to come up one, two, and three if it's a triple top, and then the measured move would be down, measuring this from here, with this being the neckline. And so that's the triple top idea. Now let me erase it, because then there's also the double top idea. Out of these triple tops, you can easily get double tops. Or double bottoms, I mean. Was I saying double tops a lot? Alright, I mean double bottoms. So you have this idea right here, this idea, which is that W formation. But W formation, it's really a double bottom W formation, whatever. It's the same like principle, ideology. It's the same. And then you have this is the neckline right here, which is that blue line. And so essentially, like you're probably wondering, how can something be a bearish scenario like the triple top, and then how can it be also a bullish scenario like the double bottom? And to confirm, what we say in technical analysis is every pattern, and I don't hear this enough, especially not in the crypto space, every pattern is just an idea until it plays out. And so we want to see a neckline broken before we see one of these ideas playing out. And so essentially we have this neckline broken on this double bottom, but there's just not enough volume to play this idea out. And it doesn't mean that technical analysis is invalid. I mean, every single major crypto channel on the internet has called countless double bottoms because there's a substantial there's substantial um in these markets right now. Like they're so important in these markets right now. We just keep seeing W formations, and they're always a great pattern, but you just have to understand that we're looking for volume more than anything right now. So even though, like I showed you just now, we have this W pattern, you go to the textbook, and this is more so a textbook W pattern because it comes in from the top. You have the neckline right here for this W pattern right here. You have a break and then consolidation, and that's just that volume idea. And then again, this is the neckline for this W, and then these right here are going to be resistance lines. Oh, so this right here is this candlestick, which was basically the local high, and then because this wick broke above this level right here, we set a new local high, in the short term, not on the macro, but on the short term, we have a new local high. And basically, if anything, like I said, or like anybody would say, this seems to be more of an uptrend consolidation pattern, and not a breakout entirely just because volume is low. And why is volume low? All the money's going into things like Ethereum, all the money's going into altcoins. The Bitcoin dominance, the how dominant is Bitcoin with its market capitalization, the percentage is falling. And so a lot of the money in cryptocurrency right now is going into these altcoins, and that's causing these consolidation patterns because we just don't have the volume to push out these essentially bullish ideas. Because I mean, we're in an uptrend. We got the double bottom, we got the neckline breakout, um, and then it looks like this double top right here is possibly getting the idea is getting negated. Here's like really what you have to look for, and this is like gonna be me breaking down the chart so that you guys really understand it. And I guess I'll draw it just so I make sure that you see what I'm seeing. Okay, so this line right here indicates resistance flipped. So this line right here is basically support, resistance, flip support, if that makes sense. So resistance, flip support idea. Let me break it down for you so you really get an idea of what we're looking at with the paintbrush. So essentially we broke through this line, then we came up, we found support on it right here, then we continued to bounce, we broke through it, we found support on it, we continued to bounce, we find support on it, we continue to bounce, we found support on it, and so now this is, we made this line right here, which was previously we broke through it, we made it and flipped it into a support area. So what was normally like resistance, we came down, we flipped it. This is like support flipped resistance idea. It's kind of sloppy, but you get the idea. And that's really what matters. It's about the idea. Sometimes in the markets, these don't play out textbook, but that's fine as long as the idea is there. It's gonna do exactly what it's supposed to do. So that's essentially bullish. And this was huge because this is more of a head and shoulders pattern, if not, like I said, the idea of a head and shoulders pattern right here. So you have the first shoulder. I mean, I can draw it for you. I don't know like what you guys are thinking. Like I don't know how new you guys are or whatever. So I mean, I'm giving you guys some gold, so I want to just make sure that we're driving this home. You understand what I'm saying. Shoulder right here. So you would draw an S. Head right here. So you draw an H and S. So this is a head and shoulders right here. Now this idea didn't play out and these major highs and lows and just all the technicals that go into the head and shoulders, it flipped from potential um, resistance to support. So where we should have had, well, I mean, not should have, but where we could have had a major drop and really disregarding the support line right here, we respected it and flipped it as support. So now we're getting supported on this blue line right here as we continue up into the uptrend. We have a bounce, another bounce confirming this support. I hope that idea makes sense because this is really important idea. And what does that tell us right now? It tells us that we have some support underneath us, some important support that's been tested and confirmed. All right. Yeah, I mean, just gorgeous the way you look at these charts, like the way it's playing out. But I just want to make sure I drive these points home so you see what I'm seeing. So we could do a parallel channel just so I could drive this uptrend point visually. Whatever. This is better than Bybit when you try and do Bybit's parallel channels. Oh my gosh. That's a nightmare. Or if my memory's correct, Binance's parallel channels are a nightmare too. Alright. So I really just want to go over the macro ideas with you guys real quick, and then we'll start looking at moving averages and all that good stuff. A lot of those ideas on moving averages that we talked about last night, they ended up coming out. And I'm just really glad, like everything we're doing, everything we're calling has been accurate. So it looks like it's touching more so the bottom of this channel. And you can draw it with trend lines. We're not going to do that on this channel, even though, I mean, unless you guys are like micro trading this market right now, but at that point, if you're doing that, like why? Like why not just get into some altcoin ideas, some altcoin setups? I don't think anybody's micro trading this market in like a 10x long just trying to scalp right now. So I'm not gonna draw. I mean, I don't know though. So comment like if that is the case, and we can draw the trend lines. But really, I'm just driving home this point that we're in an uptrend. Let me know if you have any questions. Just no, should be right here. Yeah, just let me know if you have any questions. Alright. So, what we're gonna do, the Ichimochi. Super trend saying buy on the 1 hour. According to Super Trend. Oh, gorgeous. Look at all that VPR support. Again, this is on the 1 hour time frame, so that's moderate. Alright, EMAs. Oh, it looks like we got some excitement on the EMAs possibly. They're just relatively bullish. We had all these crosses right here, which signified more price action. But you have to like just look at the charts and interpret the data. Like, and I'll do that for you. So I mean, you have this massive golden cross right here. The idea seems to play out right here, but it's not that strong of a pump. And you have a golden cross on the hourly where the 20 goes over the 200. Massive golden cross. Well, not it's on the 1 hour, but relatively massive. And then you just see that it just shows the lack of volume, the lack of buying pressure is really what this shows me more than anything else. And then this is bullish, the fact that, and these are going to act as support. Let's pull out the EMA ribbon. Where are you, EMA ribbon? Gosh dang it, where are you? Did, what? Where's my EMA ribbon? That's ridiculous. Alright, EMA ribbon. Yeah, I think when you type in B it comes up. Ribbon. We had such a good one too. We'll try this one. Oh, gorgeous. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just as I suspected. Yeah, so we have like a lot of uh, support right here for this price action in the immediate short term. If it does come down, um, and I mean this is gonna be lacking in volume. Well, I mean I don't know. I don't have the volume indicator on, but like it would have to come down below this level to really set a smaller local bottom, and then well, I talked about earlier the ideas for things like patterns and how you need to understand more so the ideas and the reason why the patterns play out than the patterns themselves. Because a lot of people on crypto channels they just talk about the patterns like, oh, this is a double top, oh, this is, but they don't really talk about the significance behind it and why these patterns are actually like why they're accurate, why they play out. So like for instance, we have a potential double top right here. And if this is the neckline right here and this gets broken, then essentially in the short term, you're taking this uptrend that we have right here and you're setting a lower low in the immediate short term. Okay, and so that's more of the idea for why these patterns start to play out, you know. So whenever I talk about like candlestick patterns, whenever I talk about consolidation patterns and everything, yes, be cognizant, but I'm gonna go a step further and not just tell you the textbook, but I'm gonna tell you why it's in the textbook and infer data that you can't just infer by just having a basic understanding of the patterns, if that makes sense. Like this is bullish engulfing right or bearish engulfing right here. Even though there's not a green candlestick, this is a significantly uh, bearish sign showing that there's a lot of selling pressure, which is essentially in textbook what the bearish engulfing is showing to begin with. So I hope that makes sense. Alright, let's take a look at some more EMAs. I gotta get the ribbon out of here. So, um, yeah. So, I mean, we could find some support, but it looks like this support line right here, which is the EMA 50, it looks like it's already been broken. And so when it's broken, it's pretty much, I just discard, like, if the idea, especially because we just have like it's the idea that it's been broken, but also like that we're much lower. Like we already have a local on the absolute micro time frames. We already have a local low, a lower low. I'm looking for crosses, EMA crosses. And then we can look at the MA. I like to look at the MA because this is really where like if we're gonna see movement, it's gonna be from like a golden cross or something like that. That's 2 lines. That's the third one. Yeah, we don't have a cross on the daily. Alright, let me go to the MA. So MA, and then I want to go to the, right here, yeah, the triple. Oh, this is locked. It's like paid for or something, I don't know. Alright, triple. There you go. Gorgeous. I don't really want to delete these, but I need to change the settings. Like, well, we're on the daily, so I can just figure it out. Who does these settings? What the hell? Okay. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we gotta change the settings. So this is my settings. Super simple to understand. The MA20, the lowest one, is the lightest color. The second lightest color is going to be the 50. And then the darkest color, if you're ever looking at my moving averages, so it's very, very easy to understand. Lightest color is the MA20. Medium color is the MA50. And the MA100 is the darkest. So the darker the color, the higher the moving average. Very simple to understand. Just so you don't get confused, and lighter the color, the smaller the moving average. Alright, we're on the hourly. Bring that back. So we had a bullish cross right here, and it looks like it didn't play out on the 1 hour. And really what that just shows me is that there's not a lot of buying pressure. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of buying pressure because the overall market is bearish. Like I said, we're just really consolidating right here. So I mean, I wouldn't say, I mean, it's not like it's a golden cross, and it is on the 1 hour, all time frames respectively. Like, it's not like it was like the daily or something, or the 6 hour, but this is a bullish cross that we had right here. The idea plays out, but it's not substantial, and then you get these quick pumps. So somebody asked me the other day, they said, like, if I'm trying to get into a long position, what would I do? And I said there's different ways to enter it, and I showed them like the actual textbook ways to enter it. But if you want to go a little more unorthodox just based off the moving averages, which isn't a terrible idea, you can wait for a death cross on a higher time frame, wait for a giant wick down, and then buy at a support area. And then if you're trying to get into a long position, and longing an anti-inflationary asset, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Not financial advice. I went to school to be a doctor. I didn't take those silly financial advisor courses. Let's see. This kind of looks like a inverse head and shoulders right here. You got that idea like right here. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous in this country. Like, financial advisors, their education is so poor. It's more so if you work your way up in the financial advisor space. So, like, your financial advisor degree, it doesn't really mean anything other than you can start legally recommending stuff to people. I guess, like, JP Morgan saying that Bitcoin's a scam $37,400 later. But, and now they're flipping their sentiment. So this just shows consolidation to me. Like, you know, we go up, down, but we're obviously favoring that uptrend. And the fact that we haven't broken this low right here and we're still in a higher low situation right here signifies that until this is broken and these ideas start to play out like we were talking about on the double top, that we're in an uptrend. And the trend is your friend until it ends. I know it sounds like however, and I get that, but it's literally so important. We have a golden cross right here, and then some bullish momentum. And then, that idea is kind of negated towards the end. So, and I mean, like, that's the thing about consolidation patterns is like, I forget how long ago, but I was making a lot of money off consolidation patterns because what I would do is I would enter into a long position at the bottom of it, and then it would consolidate and slowly move up, and then I would sell. I'm not saying to do this. I mean, I'm making so much money off Ethereum right now, I just don't care to do something like riskier or like stressful or anything. Like, I'm fine. I think I just made like I don't even know. We're not even gonna talk about how much I made, but I'm getting paid very well. Um, so like if you're shorting it, at the top of the consolidation pattern. I mean, we're in an uptrend. I wouldn't recommend shorting it, but and that's what the shorters are probably thinking, and that's what's even self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, um, the trend is your friend. There's fundamentals for why that actually plays out, and the trend is an uptrend, so we should continue to trend higher until the technicals tell us that that's not the case anymore. Again, so the area we're looking at is right here for that break. um, and so like in these consolidation patterns it would be like a triangle, and I would buy the bottom and sell the top, buy the bottom, sell the top. Anytime a bearish idea, and I talked about this earlier, anytime there was a bearish idea, I would just sell a little bit. Anytime there was like a lot of bullish ideas, I would just buy a little bit, add to my position. And then whenever I added to my position, that raised my entry cost. And so, or my entry level. So I would just be quicker to sell, so then I could cost base average down if need be. And I was taking that money off the table so I could cost base average it back down if, you know. Alright, we're going to look at the 3 hour. These lines are just. Alright, so what are we looking at? We have this bearish cross, but that played out a little bit ago. Oh, it did even play out? I guess so. This is a time frame you really want to look at, if this uptrend continues and we slowly start going up as this EMA 20 starts to move potentially above. The only problem is this is the 3 hour, and so not a lot of people trade off the 3 hour. Alright. Yeah, nothing entirely to look at. It looks like we have some crosses. Oh, geez. We had a bearish cross. Yeah, we had a bearish cross right here. And it looks like the idea for a death cross. Oh, this was a death cross on the 4 hour. Death cross on the 4 hour. And then to see a continuation to, and this would be the most bearish, like the EMAs can be, because you have the price action. Oh no, the price action is above the MAs. So just essentially on the moving averages, it's the most bearish. If you have the 20, if you have the 20 MA on the bottom, which it looks like, unless we see a correction, like unless we see this idea, unless we see the price action move a lot higher to negate this idea, because you guys remember this is a moving average, so this is the average position of the price action in the last 20 days. And so if the Bitcoin price moves up significantly higher, it's going to push this moving average up, and negate this idea. But essentially, if that doesn't happen, if we continue to consolidate and potentially this idea ends up playing out, um, then you'd have the MA20 on the MA20 on the bottom, the MA100 on the top, and the MA50 on the on in the middle, which would be the most bearish scenario for these moving averages. But the price action is not on the bottom. That would be like the most bearish. But this is just the most bearish scenario for the moving averages. I don't think that's gonna be the case though, because again, like when we look at fundamentals for like not only like just reading these technical indicators, but really understanding them, the 20 EMA moves faster than the 50. And so as long as we just hold above this level around 36,318, that idea is not going to play out because we understand we're not just looking at these and understanding crosses, we understand the fundamentals behind how these indicators operate, and that's essential. All right, so yeah, so I mean, we're just consolidating, like I said. Um, and every time I say we're consolidating, we consolidate. Every single time I say it's gonna pump a little bit and continue to consolidate, we pump a little bit and continue to consolidate. So this is kind of, you might be looking at this and saying, okay, well, this is kind of confusing because you have all these different lines. So I'll show you the kind of the more so consolidation pattern right here on the screen. So this more so is the idea for the consolidation pattern. This is like the consolidation pattern we're in, and then and that is essentially right here, and then I think, yeah, right here. And then we need to see these consolidation pattern right here. If this was to break out of this pattern, then this would be the trend lines that we're looking at next before, because we could potentially hit these trend lines and then bounce back into the consolidation pattern and be forming this giant consolidation pattern essentially. That's the idea. So that's why there's so many trend lines here. Just remember that these are resistance, this is support lines. And that is just massive. And it looks like it is going to, like, and this is really where becoming like a technical analyst comes into play, and you can't really just have a computer do this analysis. Um, Understanding the overall market sentiment is consolidation, and the fact that we did break out of these patterns multiple times, like right here, like right here, right here. We broke out of this consolidation pattern and we didn't find a substantial measured move. Understanding that and understanding the fact that we're in a consolidation pattern and understanding the fact that Bitcoin dominance is trending lower, we could break up again, test the outer part of this larger consolidation pattern, confirm it, and just keep going in this consolidation pattern till textbook is 70% of the apex. So this level right here is called the apex, and 70% of the apex would be, wow, like right about here is where textbook, if you read a textbook on technical analysis, it'll say that we tend to break out um, percentage wise around this area. Again, this is the daily chart, so nobody knows how long altcoin season is going to last, but they tend to be a few days to weeks. And so you have this is the day we're on right now. This is tomorrow. 3, 4, 5. Essentially, 5 days from now, we would be at that 70% high likelihood of breaking out one way or the other. And then really, in 5 days from now, if we're gonna break out or not, it really just comes down to where's the altcoins, where's altcoin dominance. If altcoin dominance is still significantly low and the market sentiment is that we're going to continue to see that, we could break further into this apex easily from the consolidation and market sentiment that we are. And so my point to saying this is this. We're in this consolidation pattern right here, and I'm saying that that idea is essentially going to get negated by this longer term market sentiment that we're consolidating, if that makes sense. So you might see a breakout right here, you might see a breakout right here. What I'm saying is that we're moving into this idea more than anything else and really focusing on this higher consolidation triangle, as opposed to, traditionally what you would do is you would break out of this consolidation pattern right here. If we were to move up, get a confirmation followed by volume and such, we would expect to move significantly higher. What I'm saying is the reason that traditionally this measured move is not going to play out is because of Bitcoin's dominance and just the overall market sentiment, which, if you've been following the channel, you're very familiar with now. So we could bounce out, negate the traditional idea of breaking out of this consolidation pattern, hit this band, upper band, and then move back further in, and then potentially, nobody knows, but like 5 days is a really good estimate. I doubt anybody else in the crypto space is saying anything else, anything like that, but probably 5 days to, and I'm really just going off of historical data here. 70% of the Apex historical data has shown that that's the most likely. So, I mean, take it for what it's worth. That's what it is. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back streaming. Let me just put out the super trend on the daily. Super trend saying bye. Bye, bye, bye. But like I said, these computers can't do this TA. Why buy when, you can put your money into some of these altcoins and they're potentially going to do so much better. Bitcoin's continuously consolidating. It just comes down to which altcoins you should be looking into. And right now, I'm chilling, and like you would be chilling too if you took my advice. Not financial advice, like I said, I don't have that advisory credit, but um, this is just me talking as somebody that's a crypto enthusiast, somebody that's very involved in these markets. Um, the Ethereum that we were talking about the other day. When I told you guys to look into it, that it's the most underrated crypto in the space right now, it was 1140. You take my advice on that, you take my opinion on that. We'll say opinion. You take my opinion on that, and we're up 1400 on the day. We're up like almost 30%, like at least. So like that's good. So like what I'm saying is like, and I keep saying this because like it doesn't people are like, I want to trade it right now, I want to do this right now, I want to, and maybe this isn't going to be the channel for you if that's the case. I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm going to give you the best, like right now nothing's happening, like there's nothing for me to tell you. Like if you make any trades right now based off of these decisions, I mean, you can, like, we're in an uptrend on the micro macro. Like, yes, the sentiment is bullish, and we probably are going to break out of this pattern, but traders don't really go off of probably. Um, when I give setups, when I give, coins to look into, when I say stuff, like, it comes into fruition. But I have to have the analysis in front of me to make those calls. And right now, the analysis is not stacked up to give any substantial calls on any of these altcoins that I'm familiar with. Like I said, like if you would have just listened and did Ethereum the other day, you would be chilling. Whether you bought some or whether you entered into a long position. I told you guys about Polkadot, and I said, listen, I love Polkadot, but it's too hot right now. It's gone up too much. It's down 2% today. Don't force anything, because Warren Buffett's number one rule, and I know, like, I've outperformed Warren Buffett like stupid amounts of times. If you followed my other social media channels on like stocks, yeah, Warren Buffett's fallen off. He hates Bitcoin. Guy's fallen off his rocker. I get it. But his point when he was younger that you don't want to lose money, like if you have your money sitting right now, it's not losing money or it's not losing value other than the DXY, but getting into a fair asset value, that's really what you want to look into. You want to look into getting a fair asset value as opposed to just dumping your money randomly because that's not investing, that's gambling. And I've said that a lot on a lot of my social media platforms. I have a bigger following on Snapchat, and I'll say, you got to know what you're doing to be investing. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're getting into, then you're not investing, you're gambling because you don't know that you're it's random because you don't really understand. You don't know if it's going to go up or down, or you don't have the fundamentals. So, or you're just guessing, which is so follow the channel if you don't know what you're doing because I'll get you there. But yeah, the reason Warren Buffett says you don't want to lose money is because it takes so much of a higher ROI to recoup those losses because those losses compound on each other. I'm not going to go into the fundamentals on that, but you should never force a trade. You should never force an idea. And right now, I mean, I'll tell you guys, like I told you that Ethereum was underrated, and it was, and we're up like 30% on that move. I told you about Cardano. Cardano, since I made that call, is up 30%. I'll tell you guys when there's a move. I'll tell you guys when there's a trade. And that's what I do. And we've been 100% accurate on this channel. But don't think that I'm just baby nicking because I called the consolidation. I told you yesterday it was going to move up a little bit and consolidate. It moved up a little bit and consolidated. 2 days ago, I was like, it's going to move down a little bit, consolidate. Guess what? It moved down and consolidated. I'm calling this thing 100%. It's like I got a crystal ball. I know my technical analysis. I'm not saying that I'm incompetent in the markets. I'm just telling you, be patient. And that's just coming from an experienced trader. Okay. I mean, yeah, there's nothing really on these there's nothing really. I mean, VeChain was an interesting idea. You can look into VeChain. It used to be historically, and I'll just bring up the historical data. It used to be like 2 months ago, I believe, 2 or 3 months ago, VeChain was moving with Polkadot and Cardano, and back then I thought that was overappraised. So I was like, I understand why Cardano's going up so much. I understand why Polkadot's going up so much, but why is VeChain hitting the exact same gains as those other guys? Um, and VeChain is down essentially 100% comparatively. So VeChain in the last 3 months is up over 150%, whereas respectively Cardano and Polkadot are up around 260%. And so historically, like you can look into VeChain, you can look up into the fundamentals. It looks like it. Here's really what you're gonna look at. Like here, I'll show you the graph right here. Um, so essentially, what you're gonna be looking at right here is if you can see, there's a high, and we haven't broken that higher high. And so essentially, if you were to buy it, if you're thirsty, and I have to say it like that because I don't know any other way of saying it. If you're thirsty for a trade or a buy, look into it. Don't just base everything off of what I'm saying. But we need to see VeChain break a higher high before it starts moving up higher because there's a high for it, and then right now we're in a lower high. Although right now we're clearly in an uptrend on the charts on VeChain. This would be something I would look into, make your own decision, and as Bitcoin dominance continues to fall, which seems to be the market sentiment, if that is the case, which I mean, we're consolidating on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not doing anything. Of course, people are going to start playing with altcoins. It seems that it's inevitable that it's going to break that all-time high or that local high around around 30 cents. Maybe 31 cents is probably the high. Right now it's 29.24, 29 cents. And so, I mean, you could look into that. I don't want people to ever lose money, but like if you're asking me if you're really thirsty for trades or something like that, that would be an interesting proposition. I'm trying to look at all these other guys. Graph is interesting. So here's what I have to say about Graph, because if a lot of people are interested in Graph, I have a little bit of Graph, and Graph has just been performing phenomenally. I think yesterday it was up like 40%, I think. But the thing with Graph is it was a falling knife formation for the longest time. Graph was a falling knife formation for the longest time, and it just broke that falling knife formation. But the thing that I would have to say about it is that it's a newer cryptocurrency, so we don't have a lot of it's in market discovery. We don't have a lot of analysis to back it up. So really, you need to do your own research, look at the fundamentals, and see, uh, and base its valuation based off of its intrinsic value from the actual value it's providing as a token. And then essentially, when the ICO came out, we have this essentially cup and handles formation. We want to see that that previous all-time high get broken, and then a cup and handle type formation would be looking pretty good. Potentially, if you like the fundamentals behind the asset, that's exactly how I would say it. Do your own research, look into these coins, and then Filecoin was one of those that had a tremendous falling knife formation. It just seemed like no matter how you sliced it, and it looks like it's flipping, but it's in a downtrend on the weekly. I wouldn't touch Filecoin. Everybody's pretty hyped on Aave. Aave looks pretty decent right now, but it's like it's decentralized lending, but like just my thoughts on that are like you have to be like involved with the ecosystem, and like you want to look for like how much like involvement is in the ecosystem, because that's what's going to provide equity to the ecosystem, and the tokenomics define the intrinsic value. So what I mean by that is like it used to be called, was it called like lend or maker, or it was called something else, and Aave rebranded. And but essentially what it is essentially similar to Compound, and so there's competition in the DeFi space, decentralized finance. I don't like, the thing is with Aave, it's a lending platform. That's great. That's great. But if there's nobody to lend out to, if there's nobody, and there is, but so you have to look at, like, my opinion on that is you would have to look into, like, the activity in Aave, like, how many people are participating in the ecosystem. That's what's going to drive its value up. Essentially, from an intrinsic value standpoint, you should be able to, I think you can lend out your, if it's like Compound, you can lend out your Aave tokens and earned interest on them. But if you're gonna do that, like if you're interested in just earning dividends like simplistically, Algorand, everybody loves Algorand. Um, Ginormous possible head and shoulders pattern. The fundamentals on this coin are pretty good on Algorand. Um, Let me see what it's looking like. Yeah, we're in an uptrend on the weekly. That's cute. Um, yeah, I mean, Algorand's looking pretty decent. And then on Coinbase, it stakes it for you, which is not bad. if you're looking for just like an easy dividend. Because like on Aave, you would have to. But like if you're looking for dividends, like and you're like, oh well, like I don't have like one of these coins as a staking coin, like Ethereum or Cardano or who else is a staking platform? Zilliqa. If you're looking for like, oh well, like Bitcoin's not like staking, it's proof of work. You can go on Blockstack. A lot of people recommend Blockstack. I'm not recommending it because I've never used it before, but I'm just very familiar with the community, and a lot of the bigger YouTube channels recommend Blockstack. I'm saying look into it if you want to earn interest on your Bitcoin. Now, me personally, I would rather have my Bitcoin um, stored on a cold wallet off the internet, not even plugged in. So like even if there's an EMP, because people even talk about that. I'm not saying that it's likely possible. There's been some power outages in like Iran and like all these different things. It's possible. You know, you don't want your electronics getting messed up. You know, like all these cryptos are electronics. You know, if you have your cold wallet plugged in and it gets EMP'd, it could destroy the electronics, and then there goes your entire, you know, if you have like 30,000 in cryptocurrency or something, like if you have a similar situation to me, then like that's a lot of money to just lose, especially a lot of potential money. So, I mean, I keep my cold wallet in a safe, protected by the like EMP, like whatever, so like it's too thick to be. EMP is electric magnetic pulse. Now, this is just absolute precautions, and I guess I'm not saying that this is likely, but like it's one of those like preventative situations. It's better to just be prepared than to be sorry. And again, like if you have like $100,000 in crypto, like putting it on Blockstack, like not your keys, not your crypto. If you're giving your public keys out to trade or I don't know exactly how that third party does it, but if you're giving your keys away, then like you know that's not. But if you own your keys, if you don't stake it and you don't get that like what is it like 3% APY something like that, then you know your crypto safe. I would rather just keep my crypto safe. BTC in an uptrend now. We are in wave two correction, flat irregular. So are you talking about what's it called? I don't think you're talking about Elliott wave, but we are in wave two correction. Major move should be a sharp move to the upside as wave three begins. I like this guy already. Um, are you talking about Elliott wave? Like with the impulse waves? I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you can look at it that way and that's fine and, you know, that's great and whatnot, but we're really just consolidating right now and, like, it's gonna take a lot to move this market a little. It seems to be the sentiment because we've had some death crosses and stuff on some higher time frames that haven't really, or we've had golden crosses and the pumps have been very um, small. Just everything in general. Like you have this bullish engulfing, I guess. It plays out, but you have this three red crows. Essentially, I mean, it's not textbook. I know it's not textbook, but then you would think to see at least some. Um, you would think that you would see like at least some continued downside. I mean, I think this is on the daily chart. On the daily. Yeah, this is on the daily. So you would think you'd see continued downside, and it's just not there. The candlestick opens right here, and it's just consolidation. I mean, I've been covering these charts for a long time. Like, literally, like, I think I streamed the other day for 4 hours, the day before that for 6 hours. Um, we're just consolidating. But yeah, the Elliott Wave's cool for sure. Not as many YouTubers in the crypto space use it, and if there's like some obvious impulse waves, and it's playing out, I'll definitely bring up those technicals if that's what you mean. Because I do think that it's not covered as much as it should be. Um, but yeah. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for the stream. Um, just look into different coins. Just make your own informed decisions on altcoins if that's something that you're interested in getting into. If you really want to make money right now, the altcoins are where all the money is right now. And then if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, when I first joined the space, and I was applying a lot of my economic background to cryptocurrency and like fractional reserve lending, all that kind of stuff. I obviously saw a lot of value in the anti-inflationary aspects of Bitcoin, and so I was a Bitcoin maximalist in the beginning. But if you look into things like Cardano, I mean, there's real value there. And if cryptocurrency is a new technology with basically Bitcoin is basically like the way that I see it is Bitcoin's like the marketing tool for cryptocurrency. So everybody's learning about crypto through Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's like this $400 billion marketing tool. And so there's plenty of funding to drive innovation for these newer companies. Like I had a buddy that was working for one of these major crypto companies. Like there's just a lot of funding. There's a lot of interest. There's a lot of incentive to push this technology forward, and I think it's just the beginning. Kind of like the internet stages, like everybody else is saying. Getting into some of these are like getting into Amazon when it first started, or getting into Apple when it first started. And I think Cardano is by far and away the future, but look into it. It's a little bit overbought right now. We could just see some minuscule gains, possibly some cool off. I'm not saying buy Cardano right now, um, but long term, for sure, I love Cardano. Just look into some crypto. That's where the money's at right now. But then the other thing is, I'll just leave you with the paradox. So, like, Ethereum is like a much older blockchain. Like, it came out in 2014. I was talking about last night. And so, Cardano has better intrinsic, like, fundamentals. Like, the team, like, Charles Hopkins is very active and, he's very vocal and he's very involved, and the community likes him a lot, which is very important. Kind of like when you have a stock and you have the CEO, well, the founder, the people, the people that are working on the blockchain technology to drive it forward. That's very important. The team that's behind the token that has a large impact on the price, and Charles Hopkins is very favored by the community, and that's absolutely humongous. Against like all the major things like Ethereum gas fees, they need to fix Ethereum gas fees before they just give it to Cardano. They're giving the award of best cryptocurrency to Cardano if Ethereum can't fix their gas fees. But I know it's a major problem with Ethereum's gas fees, and they're working on it, and it just shows demand for the market. But I mean, you really have to have a lot of incentive to be paying those gas fees, and that's just not there. And a lot of really good developers are coming over to Cardano, and you're going to see all these partnerships and everything, which I don't even think is factored into the price. From what we see from like Polkadot, Polkadot, when you have like Kusama and you have all these different companies and all these different partnerships with Polkadot, and you see that factored into the price. We haven't seen something like that in Cardano. So, I mean, you're gonna see like what I'm saying is in the future, once Goguen Stage 3 is fully utilized, and programmable logic, or um, basically their version of programming available for uh, the blockchain ecosystem, once you can build dApps on the Cardano blockchain, like you're going to see all these different companies moving to the Cardano blockchain because they favor Cardano. Like Charles Hawkins has already said, like a lot of people are interested in this. And if that is the case, then you're going to see all these news like, oh, this, this blockchain company, they're all going to Cardano, and it's just going to pump the price. Like, there's just so much. And, like, obviously, the guy is very competent, and obviously, stage one went smoothly, stage two went smoothly, and we have a lot of progress on stage three, so, and that hasn't really been factored in yet. And people think that, like, Ethereum is like, with ETH 2.0 staking, but we've had Cardano staking, and Cardano is more decentralized than Ethereum. But here's the paradox: most people in the crypto space, most people in general, they're not educated in crypto, and they don't know any of this stuff. And so the money is going to be flowing into things like Ethereum because people don't know about Cardano. So I actually have like a lot more money in Ethereum right now than I do in Cardano because of the essentially what I call the cryptocurrency paradox, where people know about Ethereum, and that's one of the first altcoins they learn about because it has the highest market cap, and a lot of people talk about it, and so it's the most likely to have the most substantial gains. And then I'm essentially going to be looking at putting a large portion of my Ethereum holdings and converting it over into uh, ADA tokens and staking it long term, and only selling a small portion of my Cardano, because even though the market sentiment moves in waves, like yes, like Bitcoin, I don't want to say it's going to 100,000, but I said it was going to 100,000 back when it was 10,000, and at this point we're already halfway there, and if this giant move plays out, we're looking at like 50 whatever thousand. So I mean, like, I don't want to say, but like, just look at the fundamentals. um and so um I'm planning on, you getting Cardano this cheap. I think Cardano, and I know it sounds crazy, but it doesn't really matter because all my technicals, all my calls have been 100% accurate. In the long term, I think Cardano is going to 25x. Now, there's people saying that Ethereum's going to go from, what do they say? Ethereum. They say Ethereum's going to go from like 1,400 to Ivan Tech says it's going to go to 50,000. So they're saying significant gains on Ethereum. So what I'm saying is that in this bull run, like, Cardano is still going to be massively undervalued considering what is like the fundamentals behind the tokens and what's been factored in and what we know, and just the normal buying behavior of retail and really institutions, because Ethereum has more. Ethereum's like back when I was getting into crypto, everybody was like, "Why are you getting into crypto and stuff?" Like, I was in real estate, I was in stocks, and I was doing well, and people were like, "Why crypto? Like, crypto sounds stupid." And I said, "I don't care how it sounds. Look at the fundamentals. The entire country of Russia is backing Ethereum, like with Vitalik Buterin." And if you don't understand those key fundamentals to cryptocurrency, so because the entire country of Russia is backing up Ethereum, investors are more likely, they see Ethereum as more so something that's a safer bet, and just something with a bigger market cap. Also, they don't want to get slippage and stuff, and that really comes from more of having an understanding of stocks and how hedge funds operate. If they go to something lower market cap and they put a bunch of money into it, they're going to get slippage on the price. But anyways, Do you have any questions? I can answer any questions really quick before I go. But yeah, so institutions, they should be favoring along with retail, just because retail like doesn't know, they're going to be favoring Ethereum. Ethereum's going to be moving. So even though this is the paradox, even though Cardano is by far better than Ethereum, people don't know that Ethereum has the larger market cap. It always moves like this. I'll just leave you guys with this because you need to know this, especially during this altcoin season that we're having right now. Big money always moves from Bitcoin to large cap altcoins to mid cap altcoins to small altcoins back into Bitcoin. And like I said, if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, I used to be a Bitcoin maximalist back when I looked into the fundamentals and really understood the value behind cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, which is why I got into it. You know, it's like gold 2.0, and if you really understand economics and currency debasement and all that good stuff, then you understand the significance behind Bitcoin. And so for a little bit, I was a Bitcoin maximalist. But if you are a Bitcoin maximalist, I'm not saying to hold these other cryptocurrencies. You know, do what you think is best for you. And I understand the Bitcoin maximalist ideology and view because when I first got into the space and I wasn't as into it and as educated, I just wanted to hold Bitcoin. And then possibly look into Ethereum as more of a speculative play because they don't have a hard cap on their currency. But if you are a Bitcoin maximalist, you should still get educated on altcoins because when there are altcoin seasons like this and you're seeing 40%, 30% gains in a day, you're selling yourself short. And my point to really communicate with you is you can take your altcoin gains and then put it back into Bitcoin if you are a Bitcoin maximalist. Does that make sense? So, like, when there's an altcoin season and you're educated and you really invest into your education and understand what's going on in these markets, when there are altcoin seasons and there are altcoins that you're looking into, you can get the gains on that while Bitcoin is consolidating and then put your altcoin gains into Bitcoin if you are a Bitcoin maximalist to essentially supersize your bag, like to get a bigger bag for the moon mission is what is the terminology that we use in the cryptocurrency space. I hope that makes sense. It really should. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be on again later. If we have any questions, just let me know. Um, but yeah, Bitcoin's just consolidating right now. We went over everything. I'll be on later. I'll probably stream for another hour or 2 hours, and we'll go over the charts again. We'll see what's new. We'll see what's going on. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you're interested at all. I stream a lot. I stream more than any other YouTuber that I know about, and I also talk. I see some people that will stream for an hour or two, but they're not saying anything. They're not really covering the charts. And I see, other people just talk about weird stuff like Carl from the Moon, he's cool, but like, what was he talking about the other day when he was streaming for like an hour? Like, we're gonna give you like accurate every single second. We're gonna be talking about cryptocurrency streaming. Sub to the channel if you're at all interested. We have 100% accuracy. That's not clickbait. We called everything. You know, if you listen to me on Ethereum, congratulations. You just made so much money. We're gonna win. We're gonna continue to win. We've been winning for a long time. So join the channel if you're at all interested.